Dear students, I hope you're doing well. My name is Mario Pizarro, and today I am going to talk about assessment strategies for learning in e-learning model. So, first of all, I need to talk about something really important, and it's the fact that as teachers, we are always in the need to be updated. We should always be trying to identify learners' communicative needs. We should be always trying to adapt and to improve the way that we're grading and the way that we are developing the syllabus content. And as time goes by, we sometimes tend to stick to some ways of teaching, some ways of developing some ideas, some planning, some classes, etc. Throughout this whole year, most of us have had the need to look for new ways to do different things. The pandemic has struck us hard. The pandemic has encouraged us in most scenarios to look for new ways, new tools, new um, strategies that are going to allow us to reach our students. I have had the chance to work in places, private schools, and we have had the support of having students with sufficient internet connection access and as well as the material that we're going to be using and adapting in order to have our online classes. So in that sense, I think that I feel privileged, number one, and number two, I have also have the had the chance to rearrange, to rediscover, to reflect on some of the things that I have been doing and ways to improve them in order to have more and better input that I would be giving them, expecting obviously a better quality output. I believe that that's something really important. The fact that we give quality input to our students is going to improve, or I mean, it's going to increase the possibilities of them knowing what they need to do and how to do it. Thus, giving them the chance to create a better output. In that sense, I believe that we should have a big picture. We should have a big picture of what we're going to do since the beginning of the process, because this is going to highly boost the chance of having a well-rounded knowledge transfer. Um, in this sense, we should be integrating the way that we're going to be executing our lessons. We should be taking into account the type of activities that we're going to be using to approach our students. And we should also be taking into account that is super important for us to um, apply something called systematization, because this way we can have some meaningful feedback from our own perspective and from our peers. Uh, Technology has helped us have the chance to go back to the classes that we have been teaching and to look for things that could be improved, or things that worked well, or maybe other ways to apply the same lesson. And I think that is super important to take into account the other co-workers' opinions, and also to um, try to learn from their mistakes and from their achievements. By saying this, I mean that there are different ways that in e-learning we can access to our students possibilities of giving proper assessment. Um, well, the typical, we have online class, online quizzes. We have type of open questions where they need to write down some information based on a listening or a reading. Maybe they have to have another activity where they should try to fit a word that is suitable for the context of the activity, an exchange through communication by doing some kind of interviews or surveys. They could do some role plays, online polls, type of game activities where they are going to create an activity to practice something that we have studied during the classes. We can have some forums where we can exchange some thoughts about a specific topic. That is something that I have really enjoyed about working with CLIL because we are not focusing only on a structure of a language. We are working with topics that are being put into context that is relevant for students in order to apply them. And we have had the chance when teaching online to look for different ways to reach them, to look for different ways that we could make them interact. For example, here on Zoom in this platform, we can create some breakout rooms, and those breakout rooms, you have the chance to go one by one and to give them some feedback and to help them out. We have had the chance to look for ways to do some LMS uh, activities where we could be basically transferring the same exam, the same homework, the same activity to a virtual device, like to use a virtual classroom, basically, which is going to help us to communicate with students effectively, to give them meaningful feedback, to tell them what they should be correcting. Um, Maybe sometimes when we are in class on site teaching. When we give turns to students to present something that they have been working on, that extends because we have to give each student proper time to express what they are going to do or what they have in mind. But with e-learning, we have the chance to reduce the amount of time because they are going to be divided in groups and they are going to be also having the space to do the same presentation, and for me as a teacher to go back and to look and take a look and to evaluate and to assess and to give clear feedback to the students in half of time, in a quarter of time, because they are going to be doing those activities simultaneously, as well as, for example, when they have to do an activity and they have to be grouped, they can access to online applications, programs where they can edit simultaneously. That means that even though there is a person who is in charge of leading the activity, all of them can contribute live at the same time. So I believe that everything that has happened has helped me recreate a better, a new way to approach my learning and teaching. Now, based on my past thoughts, I would like you to give me some of your thoughts as well. I would like to ask you some questions and I would like you to record yourself and to send me some of the answers that I'm going to ask you as we speak. Number one, why does the teacher believe that he has been privileged? Number two, do you think that systematization is relevant for a teacher? Number three, name three of the different ways to evaluate students that were mentioned in the video. Number four, how can learning teaching can be improved through e learning? And number five, what is your position about the teacher's thoughts? Advantages, disadvantages? Thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening.